Ever notice how putting things off again and again and again leads to more stress, less time, and sometimes even full-on burnout? That's why in today's video, I need to reach back into my video archives to bring you an older but still very relevant video on how tackling procrastination head-on can free up your energy and, of course, help you stay resilient. Let's get into it.
I've been waiting so long to do this because I've been procrastinating. Procrastinating is something I've been doing my whole life. And if you challenge me that you're better than me, you better wait a long time because I'm going to win. It really is just something I've done my whole life. And I've learned how to overcome it because I know I'm a procrastinator. I can admit I'm a procrastinator. I've also I don't wanna say I've perfected ways to overcome it, but I have definitely gotten better with dealing with it. After, many, many times around the sun, I could tell you I've definitely picked up some things. When I was a little kid, I had a paper route when I was 12 years old, I think 12. I had a paper route in the afternoon, which wasn't bad, but it was the one in the morning when we got upgraded to the morning paper that was really brutal. I used to have to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, get all the papers in my wagon, pull my wagon over to the apartments where I lived, and then quietly sneak in and drop the papers down, and I had to place them just perfectly. And if I procrastinated more than 5 to 10 minutes getting out and getting those papers out, I'd be late. And there was many a times where I wanted to be late because I didn't feel like doing it. Then my mom would have to help, and I don't think she liked it so much because it was pretty early. But because of that paper route, I did start to develop good habits, and that is when the alarm goes off, you get out of bed. And then unfortunately, in the teenager years, I started to like to sleep in, as most high school teenagers do. And by the way, if you hear snoring, it's not me, it's my dog in the background. They're participating over here by being quiet. So she might come visit us later, but probably not. She looks pretty asleep. So procrastination is something that is pretty common amongst everybody. We procrastinate for many different reasons. You can procrastinate leaving the house in the morning to go to school, to work, to just go anywhere. And it could be for any reason. And the usual reasons are because it's planning and the lack of planning. And one of the hottest tips I have for you, if you are a procrastinator, is first of all, you need to start now. You just have to do it and start now. And one of the tricks I use is notes, and you could use Post-it notes, different colors if you want. Make sure you have a writing tool. You can have pads of paper. You can talk to your cell phone. You can leave notices on that. Use your electronics, use paper, whatever you need to do. If you have to, write on the mirror with crayon, if it's your own mirror, nobody else sees it, of what you have to do the next day. So one of the first things you need to do, though, is find a schedule, find a calendar that works for you. I've got lists. I'll show you. Where's one of my good lists? Well, this one's just here. It's just a little bit of scratched out stuff, but there's lists of things I have to do. And the goal is to scratch everything off, turn the paper over, start another list. So I do to-do lists. Some people say to-do lists aren't good. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just going to say to each their own. And what works best for you is what you need to go with. For me, I love to-do lists because if it's not on that list, I'm going to forget about it, which means I'm procrastinating. So here's a plan I want you to do. On Sunday night, which it is now, I want you, before you go to bed, to make a to-do list of every single thing you have to do tomorrow, from the time you're waking up, eating breakfast, exercising, having your coffee, every silly little thing you could think of, every little, just tiny little detail, including getting dressed if you need to, brushing your hair, brush your teeth, whatever it is. Write it down on that to-do list. And I want your whole day done as far as in advance as you can. This shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10, 20 minutes, maybe an hour if you've got a really crazy day. But spend some time on this. What this does is a couple things. First of all, as you go through your day tomorrow, I want you to scratch off each thing that you said you had to do, that you wanted to do, and that you need to do. Once you do that, you need to also go, yes, I did it. You need to thank yourself. You need to be your own coach because nobody's going to be there for you coaching in the morning except for you. Okay. Now, if you have somebody that lives with you and they actually are telling you what to do. They got mom or dad or somebody that kicks you out of bed in the morning like I did. You need to get up. You need to get in the shower. You need to go to school. Okay. Well, 20 minutes later, running down the stairs, I think I had a half a piece of toast back then, just trying to get to school right on time. School started, we started at 8:10. I think I got there at 8:09. That's procrastinating. I was an expert at it. I was never late. Well, not always, but I was usually never late. And I always made it on time. It was just, I had it down to a science, but it's just not effective. So here's what you do. You make that list. You scratch off the things in the morning. You feel good about it. By feeling good about it, you're just super reinforcing yourself that you can do this stuff. Then before you go to bed on Monday night, do the same thing for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You do this over and over and over again the rest of your life. And just don't trust your memory. It's a pretty simple thing. I don't care how old you are. You will forget things. The phone will ring. You'll get occupied with a video. You'll be watching this. And by the way, I don't want to go too long with this because I don't want you procrastinating tonight with things that we have to do. The other thing you have to do is, if you can, even tonight, start, is plan out all your Monday, part of your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday schedule as far as the things that you know you have to do, the obligations, work, school, meetings, appointments, anything that's absolute that you have to be there on a time-based thing. Then you need to go back and start filling in some other things. Are you going to go exercise? Some people, exercise is an absolute, that you have to do it. It's an obligation. There's fixed classes. There's just times where you have to do it, or you just know you're not going to work out. There's then the moments where, what if you get up late? Well, don't get up late. Set your alarm. You got a cell phone, use that. I use a smartwatch on vibrate. I stick it next to my pillow. It's very, not as loud as a cell phone, obviously, but it's just there. And then eventually I remove that and I start waking up naturally. Give that about 28 days. I'll go over that stuff later in future broadcasts. So we'll talk more about that. The other thing you have to really be careful of is not following your plan. Okay. There are consequences to you taking actions, and that means you're successful. And there's also consequences to you doing non-actions or inactions, as I call them. And those are detrimental and those can set you back. If you're trying to find more time in your day, this is something I'm a really big proponent of, is if you're waking up, say it's 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and you're finding you're kind of rushed throughout the morning, or you're just feeling like you just don't have enough time to get ready in the morning, get up 10 minutes early. Do this for a week, just 1 week. Okay. 7 days a week though, not 5, 7. Then the next week, I want you up 20 minutes early. The following week, 30 minutes early, so on and so on, until you're up a full hour early. And trust me, after a month, you should be fine. Unless you're going to bed at 2, 3 in the morning, this should not be a problem. I get up at 4:30 a.m. every single day. And I'll tell you how that started real quick. One of our pugs who's passed away now, he used to scratch on the door at 5:15, hard in his door. And you would think pugs can't do damage, but pugs can actually do damage when they're persistently scratching at something. And he was pretty strong at it. He had to go out. He did not like to go in the house. He liked to do his stuff outside. Well, I got tired of being woken up at 5:15. So I figured I'm going to get up at 5. I'm going to beat him awake. And then when I hear him jump off his couch and go to the door, I can hear him before he does damage. And this started getting me up earlier and earlier and earlier. And it just works out. Next thing you know, you got all this extra free time. It takes a lot of time for what I do and probably for what you do too. If you're finding that this is working for you, don't stop. Don't just say, well, it worked for a few weeks. I'm going to go back to my old way. Don't do that. Keep moving forward, especially if you're in school or you're on a job that requires extra time, or let's say you want to exercise or eat better and you need a little more prep time for food instead of just grabbing a food bar or something quick on the way out the door, or making your own coffee. It's one of the big things that I like to do in the morning is have my coffee. I've got my Go For It cup. This was done by Boynton. These, I don't sell these. I don't know if we could actually find these. I would love to, but I think this is the epitome of motivation, is going for it. All right, that's it for procrastination tonight. I've been procrastinating long enough. I've got to go do some other projects, I think.
If you found this video helpful, possibly subscribe and check out this video next for more tips and strategies on how to avoid burnout and build stronger resilience when dealing with all of life's challenges. Thanks for watching. Now, get up and get going to do what you have to do right now. I'll see you online soon.